I've never voted in a
Right.
presidential election.
Right.
Because I just have never had faith in politics.
Right.
For me, it's hard to trust another person to take care of my people in my community. And I've always believed in being the change that you want to see.
Right.
Which is why I get up every day, I fight the good fight instead
Right.
of waiting. So for this being the first time that I will be voting,
Right.
what advice would you give to me to start to find a way of figuring out what candidate aligns with my values?
I think it's a great question. And obviously, there are a lot of folks in your situation, right? So, the question's something that I think a lot of people have on their minds. Here's one way to think about it, is that politics is basically how do we as a society make decisions about how resources are allocated, what's prioritized. And we have a representative government, which means we can't all just vote on every single decision about where's a stop sign gonna go or, what textbooks we're gonna use in school. So we gotta elect representatives to do that. And the way that I always advise people to approach it is, first and foremost, figure out what is it that you care about? What are your values? What are the issues that are important? What do you see in your community that's going on? Mm-hmm. Don't take for granted that the way it is the way it has to be. We have the power collectively to make different decisions. And so once you have a sense of what's important to you and what you care about, the next step is to start looking into who is it that's making these decisions and who do I think aligns with my values and my priorities and my interests.
That's right.
Right? So, and that happens at a bunch of different levels, right? So the mayor or the city council, they're the ones that are gonna make decisions about garbage pickup or police departments and where money goes to parks. School boards might make decisions about what curriculum is being taught in school. You go up a little higher at the state level. They're making decisions about roads. They're making decisions about, what happens if there's a hurricane or a tornado. How is emergency relief provided? You go up a step higher from that, now you're at the national level. And you have members of Congress. They're the ones who are supposed to advocate for your community specifically. And you've got senators who are going to be representing your entire state. And then you've got the president of the United States who's going to be operating the entire federal government and is supposed to look out for everybody. One last thing I think is important as you're making up these decisions, because I talk to a lot of folks your age. I remember when my daughters were first voting. You can't expect politics to solve every problem, right? So you're right to say to yourself, I have to be the change I want. You still have to do what you need to do in your communities. Politics is not going to solve every problem. You can have the best person. I think I was a good president, but I didn't end racism in America. I didn't end, poverty in all corners of America. What I did do, though, because I think I was aligned with the issues that the communities, many people across the country care about, needing healthcare, needing job training, wanting to make sure that their kids, if they want to go to college, can afford it. I focused on those issues and I made them a little bit better. So I passed the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. 50 million people ended up getting healthcare because of that. Another 50 million who had pre-existing conditions, who were already sick, or had an illness in the past and were having trouble getting health insurance. Now insurance companies had to give them coverage and treat them fairly. So I improved and made better that particular problem that people had.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes with young folks, they look around and somebody's president, let's say Joe Biden's president right now, and they look and they say, well, you know what, the community doesn't seem like it's that different than it was.
Yeah.
But what you're missing is that they're making some things better. Somebody's got medicine or healthcare that didn't have it before. Somebody got a job that didn't have it before. And usually progress is made slowly in that way, a little bit at a time. But if somebody is operating on a basis that aligns with your values, they seem trustworthy, They operate in an honest way. They're working hard. They're taking the job seriously. That's the basis by which you can then make a decision.
When I started this organization, the Cameroon Sustainable Development Project, CSDP, 1.5 years ago, I took an oath to not be isolated from the people, because I feel your pain and I share your dreams. This organization was created to bridge the gap between the government and the private sector. Every developed nation thrives because of its private sector. Farmers, traders, bike riders, taxi drivers, bloggers, influencers, teachers, lawyers, traders. Cameroon thrives because of you. Your cooperative effort does make a difference to the prosperity of this nation.